All right. Hello, everybody. Grady Polcyn, American Agency, FFL America, Family First Life, insurance broker, passionate husband, and loving father. You know, all the titles that I get to wear. I am going to do my best today to, by the insight and grace of Sean, Zach, Andrew, all my brothers out there, to help you guys all understand better how to present the opportunity. How do we present this FFL, Family First Life insurance broker opportunity? And I've got some notes I'm going to run through, some a bunch of different things I'm going to share. And so for all of you who are trying to get better, drop a two in the chat below. That today I'm going to get better. Drop a two in the chat below. There you go. What's up, Jenna? So that's my goal. We're going to talk about some stuff here. We're going to talk about how to present the opportunity, why we want to do it, what the upside is for us to build a business here, and the potential that we all have as agents, that we're so blessed in 2025, 2026, get to be a part of Family First Life. We could have been born in Ethiopia. You could have been born in, the wrong side of tracks. Maybe you're born on the wrong side of tracks and you've moved yourself to the right side of tracks. Now you want to stay on the right side of tracks. We could have been born at another company that started us at 27% comp with no leads, and they make us say thank you. Fortunately, we were born here, and maybe or we have evolved here, and now we have a goal and a mission to share this with as many people as possible if we want to. That's the big caveat here. If we want to, right? You get to decide each and every day. I want to dial the phone and protect families. Do I want to serve my family by serving others and get compensated for it? That's a choice you have to make. I can wake up. I learned from a guy early on in my career. He goes, the gift and the curse of being an entrepreneur is that you can wake up in the morning and go, I don't feel like it, right? I don't feel like it. And that's the difference between winners and losers. Losers go based on feelings, and winners develop habits to push themselves forward and make themselves accomplish what they set out to do. I did not want to train to run a marathon in January, but Hayden Hill and Derek Thrasher challenged me and invited me to do it, and I committed to do it. And last month I ran almost 80 miles. I ran my fastest 10K over the weekend. This week I'll probably another 15 to 20 miles. Now these aren't record-setting mile numbers, but for a guy that probably ran 3 miles in 2024 to run hundreds of miles in 2025 is something that I made a decision to do, right? So that's for all of us. Am I going to make a decision after this call that I'm going to then share the opportunity with people? My great friend Trey Honeycutt says that you share this business with at least one person a day. One person a day. Why? Well, because any less than one is zero, right? So we got to have standards, right? So we're trying to grow our business, right? So, okay, I'm going to run through some notes. If you've got questions and they're on topic, I'll reference them and answer them. If they're off topic, I'll ignore them. But, as we progress through this, I've got some homework at the end for you that I would advise you to lean in to put yourself in a position where you can evolve and grow, right? Because this is a communicative skill: how to present the opportunity, how to recruit, how to build your business, how to put yourself in a position where you're going from being a sole producer to a business owner. That's your ideal goal. At least I would hope that for you if you're trying to create freedom. So let's run through some stuff here. Let's start with why. Why build a team? Simple starting point number one: building passive income. Active income is selling. Passive income is money you make, whether it's a 1%, a 5%, a 20% override off of an agent that you introduced to this business and brought in, and now they are selling. And when they sell, you make an override. That is passive income. Passive income is a wonderful income to build because you don't have to work to earn it. Now you've got to work a little to manage it, right? But you had to work to build it, but passive income, right? So let's talk about that. We have agents that sell 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month. When they dial the phone, they bought the leads, dial the phone, close the clients, do the follow-up, send the thank you cards, hire the staff to make care of it. They help fix the beneficiaries. They call them when the card expired or the bank draft didn't go through, and they get it fixed. They move forward. They're actively working on that income, right? We also have agents and agency managers that are making 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 a month in a passive income state from agents that they introduced to this business. They saw what they believe, and from there now they're earning an income when they sell. Now that no matter small or large, that's an amazing place to be. So for you, for to start, I would encourage all of you, get your house in order, right? Get yourself in order, right? If you can't lead one, you can't lead many, right? And what I mean by that is like, are you buying leads on a multi-time a week basis? Or do you have your dial structure organized? Are you up at 6, 7, getting 6, 7? Oh my God, I came out of my mind. My loving kids. Andres gets it. Are you up early in the morning and exercising and putting yourself in a position where you're getting your mind right for the day? Are you staying up too late doing stuff you shouldn't be doing? Like, are you focused on creating a house of brick and not of sand? If you are, hey, if we're going to go to the three little pigs analogy here, right? Are you focused on building something strong that then you're building habits for yourself that then you can instill into others, right? Get your dial times, your lead purchases. You've got you're organized on buying leads consistently. You're organized on your production. You're hitting that 7, 8, 10 minimum per week submit, right? Then now when you bring people into your ecosystem, you're a far less a tolerant of, and we'll talk about there towards the end about how to keep them, but you're far less tolerant of poor work ethic or bad attitudes or laziness because you had to build something for yourself internally and make yourself chisel away all the muck and crud to make yourself more efficient, that then you can be a good cornerstone for people to lean on as they're making their own decision to move forward in this business. So that's what I would say. So, build passive income. Active income is selling. On top of that, why do we want to build a team? I would say, being honest, this business can be lonely. It can be very lonely. Like, we're all together here, a couple hundred of us on now. We're all together here. We'll be together at convention. We get together at Ignite. If you work out of an office, that's great, but you're with other people that someone introduced this business to. And at times, this business can be lonely. It's you and the phone. And when you are not dialing the phone and having conversations with others, it's you and a blank wall. It's you and an empty whiteboard looking at the lack of production you have because the week is getting going. And so, not that we need to recruit people for friendship, but it's nice to recruit people for camaraderie, and it's nice to recruit people for the thought process of progressing together, of winning with others, right? Because there's three people you need in your business mind, in your business world, right? One is your mentor, someone you're learning from, someone who has the success that you have, that you want to attain, that you want to follow, that you trust, that someone and for me, that was Andrew, right? Andrew had the success I wanted from a sales standpoint. He had the success I had from a building standpoint. He had a great relationship with Nicole. He had a great relationship with Sean. He as far and wide was someone who I wanted to emulate and I wanted to learn from. He was 10 years my junior, but does that matter? No, because in his season of life, he found insurance sales and went after the success that he wanted, which then gave me the permission to quit my software business that I'd built, to walk away from other income streams that I have, and to take the leap of faith to buy leads and to start calling strangers and trying to sell them life insurance. But he did that for me. He did that for me he didn't do anything for me. He did that for me for who he was, right? Who are you? Are you a steadfast leader, yet who can be someone that your people can lean on and go, I want to be just like Andres. I want to be just like Juan. I want to be just like Adam. I want to be just like Alexander, Andrew, Angel, Austin, Bryce. I want to be just like this person because they figured it out. And I know that if I do what they do, I'm going to get what they have. Right? So, three people you need: your mentor, a running buddy, someone who's on the same plane as you, someone who's on the same sort of path right now. You can share ideas that help you with underwriting help. Hey, I found this new lead vendor. Hey, I found this is kind of the new recruiting script I'm using. Right? You got a partner, a running buddy, right? And then your next level of person is your mentee, right? Someone that you're training into this business, right? That's why we want to build a team, because that makes us better, right? On the learning triangle scale of life, right? At the very bottom of knowing something is hearing it, right? So those of you that are on here right now, passively, cameras off, you're doing something, maybe you got an AirPod in. I'm happy you're on here, but you're learning this at the least amount level possible, right? Like 18 to 40%. The next level is actually engaging, taking notes. 40 to 70%, right? You're learning, you're taking notes, you're going, okay, there's some good things. He said passive income. He said, Bill, three people you need to learn, right? He talked about Andrew and being a good example, right? You're taking notes, right? You're focused on actually learning the things that I'm sharing with you. That's great. That's the next level. And the highest level of knowledge, of knowing something, is you can teach it, right? 70 to 100%. You actually know it because you can teach it. And I can only teach this stuff because I've sucked at it for so long. I sucked at it for so long that I got to the point where I was like, okay, I figured out the ways to not do this. Here's the best ways to do this, and why do you want to do it, and what I would do, and what I've seen over the thousands of conversations I've had, and the tens of thousands of agents that have come through, and the hundreds of thousands of conversations I've had. I'm going to whittle it all down in the next 29 to 30 minutes and try to give you what I've got, right? So that's the three people you need. Why build a team? And then the last reason why build a team is because, or why build a team, or why insurance, if you will, is because we do noble work. I believe we do noble work. And I'm not going to throw shade at the people that sell pest control or sell cars or sell solar or sell houses or mortgages, right? You got to make money. You got to make money. I got 4 kids and they got to eat, right? You got to make money. But for me and my soul and where I want to live and where I want to die and where I want to be known as is someone who at the worst day in a family's life provides something positive. And not that I want to think about death all day long, and I don't want to challenge, John, that if you don't get this insurance, Betty's going to have to go find a new man because you chose not to take care of her. And I don't want to do those like hard conversations. But in the end, I have to because that's my job. And if I do my job well, then Betty will be okay. And if I do my job well, that Dolores's retirement will be invested. And if I do my job, that children out there will get to stay in their home if God forbid something happens to mom or dad. And that is noble work. And right now in America, greatest country in the world, there's 100 million people, 100 million that are uninsured or underinsured. Uninsured or underinsured. What are the top 5 reasons for owning life insurance? Cover burial and final expenses, transfer wealth or leave an inheritance, help replace lost wages or the income of a top wage earner, pay off the mortgage, or create supplement retirement income. So like in order to present the opportunity, in order to recruit, we got to understand where do we stand? Like, did you just show up here and you're like, they said I could sell insurance and I make money and, we talk about it kind of like, I know from personal experience, like, and I'll share this story. I haven't shared this story in many years. I had a very good friend who was a mentor in my younger period of life. A mentor in my younger years. And I was in my 20s and I'll try to get through this. His name was Mark. And Mark had a good life insurance policy. Thank God. A good life insurance policy, good agent took care of him. I believe it was an IUL. But attached to it had living benefits. And sadly, Mark married 4 children. Maybe that's how I ended up having 4 children. I spent a lot of time with Mark earlier in my life, but Mark had 4 children, and Mark, sadly, as healthy as he was, as active as he was, as important in the business world as he was, as many lives as he had impacted, as many books as he had written, as many things as he had taught, as many stages he had spoken on, Mark came down with pancreatic cancer in his 30s. Pancreatic cancer. It's not fair. But Mark, fortunately, had a good life insurance policy. And Mark was able to take $500,000 out of his life insurance policy of living benefits. And he was an entrepreneur. So he had a bunch of different types of insurance and whatnot. But he was able to go down to Houston and he found some therapies that he was able to take to prolong his life. And instead of passing away in like 3, 6, 9 months, he's able to live another 2 to 4 years. I think it was 4 more years because of the money that he had in his living benefits, which allowed him to go out there and spend more time with his family, spending more time with his wife, hugging, kissing his children, because someone had insight to get him insurance. And for me, that impacts me so much, not because he's about my age, not because he has 4 children, but because it's what we do every day is we sell life insurance to families that we hope never use it. We know they're going to use it at some point. My old buddy would say, Grady, I Googled it. We're all going to die someday. I got it. Okay, that's funny, but it's not funny, but it's funny. And I understand that. But in the same philosophy, like our policies we sell have living benefits. The accidental coverage we cover covers for all kinds of crazy stuff. The ROP or the IUL products, the FIAs, the IULs, all this incredible, incredible stuff. But the living benefit access that we get to give to a family, that God forbid they come down with a chronic, critical, or terminal illness, they can access that money now to set up to extend life, to settle their affairs. Like, so as I talk about presenting the opportunity, like I'm passionate about what we do from a macro level versus the micro of how to get someone to go, you know what, I'll pick this versus that, right? So let's if that's fair, drop a 3 in the chat below if you're on board with selling life insurance and you love it like I love it. All right, we do noble work. So now who are we looking for? And I like to think about business minded versus employee minded. And what I mean by that is someone that's that's okay with risk, right? And what I mean by risk, in a sense, is that like sometimes risk can be you can be okay with risk because you have a lot less to lose, right? When I lived in an apartment and had a shitty old Volvo, sorry, PG-13 call, had a crappy old Volvo, I didn't have much to lose, right? I got involved in MLMs. I swiped the card for their builder package. I started, handing out cans of my supplements to people I knew, my aunt, my uncle, neighbors, high school buddies, college buddies, trying to recruit people into my network marketing business, right? I didn't have a lot to lose, right? As you get further down the path of life and you have more people you're responsible for, it becomes far more um, important that you don't take risky decisions, right? I'm not going to go take mine and Chantel's life savings and YOLO it into some meme coin anymore, right? I'm trying to buy, Nvidia. I'm trying to buy Meta, trying to buy Amazon, Google. I'm trying to buy solid stocks that are going to continue to grow as life progresses, right? And so there's just decisions you've got to make as you progress through life. But at the same time, someone that can bet on themselves, someone that goes, I might not know it all now, but I'd like to know it, is someone who you're kind of looking for. And so who would that be? And I like to look for people that have been in sales before, people that even have a military background, people have an athletic background, people that are ambitious, right? Someone that is looking for a salary is a great person to bring into your team to support your business, but not someone who wants to go buy $1,000 to $2,000 of the leads a week. Someone that has to go from start at zero every like when you issue 30,000 in a month, you start the next month at zero, right? And that's a difficult thing for some people to wrap their head around, is to go, my job starts over every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year I start at zero. And so you got to season that into people's minds as you're going to have conversations with them about what we do here, right? So most people's current ideology around additional income today comes from MLMs, some sort of affiliate marketing or gig work, right? Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, that type stuff. And that's great and all. People are trying to make more money. But do I think that the guy randomly who drove up to my house yesterday in a Land Rover dropping off a Walmart delivery for my wife who needed some more wrapping paper for something, wouldn't be open to selling life insurance? He came across money at some point. Maybe something happened. I don't know why he had a lander. I should have recruited him, right? I was busy with the kids in the driveway, getting them to stop hitting each other and color and chalk on each other's faces. But I was like, that is a unique car that he's got driving up in usually they don't have those kind of cars, right? So like, but that's most people today. MLMs, affiliate marketing, right? They're doing something, they're sharing links or something, and gig work. That's most people's exposure to additional income. So as you're looking for people, have these conversations about when you're getting ready to talk, whom you're looking for. Business minded, they're already open to making additional money. And now here's questions that I ask myself when I'm recruiting, and I encourage you to write them down. Do I believe they're going to be here in 5 years? And do I want to talk to them again? Do I believe they're going to be here in 5 years? And do I want to talk to them again? And what that means is like, I'm trying to build as a business on bedrock. I ain't trying to build it with concrete and rebar. I'm trying to build it on the most solid foundation possible. And I say that today because when I started, I built it on a leaf floating on water in a river. And I say that like the most unstable ground. And I'll give you an example. When I hit vice president, which is 150,000 issue paid as an agency, I wrote 30, and then I had 39 people who wrote 120. So it was 40 writers in my agency to equal to 150,000. The average issue paid is it's I don't know, it's paltry. And now there's agencies that will hit VP, the 150,000. And why is that an important mark? Well, that's when you start to get additional bonus income from corporate. That's a good mark to aim for. 150,000, you're vice president, it's an honorable title, and you start to earn additional free, essentially, money, bonuses from corporate. Now there's people that will hit VP, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 writers. And so as I progress in business, I've learned this, and this is where I'm giving advice, is that you don't need to hire every single person that can fog a mirror. Mirror foggers are just that. They fog mirrors. I'm looking for business-minded, ambitious people that want to make additional income. Okay. So do I believe they'll be here in 5 years, right? What is their life plan? Are they bouncing around a bunch of things? Do they take time to respond back? Do they take too long to respond back? Do they have a bunch of kind of quirky off the rail questions, which are okay, right? Sean often talks about that if every single person was like him, this business would be 10% of the size. So we have to have diversity. But I get to determine who I'm going to talk to. And I'm great with that. I'm great of having conversations with multiple different people. But at some point, we have to go, are they someone that commits to things, right? And do I enjoy talking to them, right? So those are questions for you to have. Now, I'm going to teach you something about people. I encourage you to write this down. There's 4 types of people in the world. And this is a philosophy. There's other ways that this has been described. It's like shark, urchin, octopus, dolphin, or something. There's different ways to describe this, but I always think about it like this: fun, money, caring, details. So, and you can look at that and you might be blends of 2. You might be a hard fast on 1. You could say you're a little bit of all, but they're people that like to have fun, like to go out or make things fun. If selling insurance isn't fun, I don't want to do it. If we're not having a good time, if I'm not at the office and we're having a pizza party on Friday, this is such a drag, right? Well, you're making money, it could be a drag, right? But what motivates that subset of people? Fun, right? Money. They're 100% money driven. Big goals. They want a super nice car, big house, fancy watch, all this, they're big on money, right? Money, 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 right? So when you're talking to people, you're kind of having conversations about what motivates them. What gets them excited, even in your own agency right now or in your own self. What motivates you, right? Are you someone that's selling 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 a month, and you would like to sell 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, but you just can't find something? Well, maybe if you're a fun person, you need to plan a trip to Disneyland or a trip to Europe. So you work like crazy to earn that fun trip to Europe. Money, you want to save up till you've got a certain dollar amount. You buy yourself a nice watch. You want to get yourself a nice car. You want to move to a better neighborhood, right? The second 2 angles, caring and details, right? Caring, they're very philanthropic. They're thinking about their family. They're thinking about their kids, or they're thinking about their spouse, their loved one. They're thinking about their church, their community, where they can give back, who they can help, right? They're very caring driven. I want to make money so I can help other people. Wonderful. And details are very analytical. They need to see the numbers. How's that comp work again? Why is the whole life 5% less than the term? What's the cap rates on the IULs? How do I get my comp up on annuities? Right, they're very detail oriented and great. So you need to have conversations with them about the way that they want to learn, and you'll learn that as you're having conversations with them. And so we're getting into what to say here, but this is like as we're looking for who we want to talk to. Is someone that's crazy detail oriented. Like my dad is I'm fortunate and blessed to have a father that was in insurance sales and provided us a wonderful career. And it took me far too long to get to insurance until my mid 30s. I finally found insurance. But then, here we are. Glad we found it. But he provided us a good life. He never built an agency. He was a sole producer, but made a great living being a sole producer. He would tell me, Grady, I don't take on engineers as clients. They're far too analytical. They want to know this and that and that and this and this and that, and call the home office and they're reading they're just it's just too much. He's like, there's a plenty of other people out there that don't need to know every single thing about, well, I'm putting my own 5,000 a month in this thing too, John. Like, he's like, I gave up after so many years. I don't take engineers. And so those are decisions that you can make. Like, there's some types of people you just go, I don't want to work with this type of person. Great. So, but important in all this, as we talk about the two questions, do you believe they'll be here in 5 years? And do you want to talk to them again? You have to assess what you're doing with your time, because time is your most precious asset. It's your most precious asset. You can be spending time with your family, your spouse, your loved ones, doing whatever you want to do. Or most importantly, if you're new or getting going in this business, it's dialing the phone and making sales and bringing in that active income so that you can then hire staff, rent an office, increase your savings, help bring on someone to help with your business so that you can then start to build that passive income. And I say all this because you have pocket aces. And we're going to talk about here what we're going to do here and what we're going to say in a second. But you have to understand you have pocket aces. There is nothing in the sales landscape now that equates to what we have at FFL. There isn't, right? There's no, and I often think about like great sports teams, right? And the great sports athletes, they want to get paid, which is why it's very difficult for great teams to go on generational runs, right? Celtics have won a lot of championships. Patriots won them for a while with Brady. Dodgers are kicking butt because there's no cap. There's no salary cap in baseball, which is unique. So they're gonna have $1 billion payroll at some point. Any baseball fans know what I'm talking about. But like, it's really difficult for like sports teams to go on generational runs because as the team gets better, the athletes get better, and other teams go, well, I'll instead of you paying them the 12 million, I'll pay him 42. And he goes, I mean, I love it here, but they're going to pay me 42 million, and you don't have the room anymore to pay me more. So like, this was fun winning the championship, but they're going to pay me 30 more million over there. So they leave, right? And then we look at how that happens and why there's always new champions in a lot of sports. And I don't watch a ton of sports. I just understand the concept behind it. So we look at FFL and we look at our relationship with our carriers being the number one producing IMO with nearly every carrier we write with that we choose to. We do, right? Sean and Zach make good decisions on who we want to have a great relationship with us based on how they treat us and how we put them into the bonus pool and et cetera, right? We look at our relationship with Integrity. Multi-billion-dollar insurance conglomerate, owns over 200 different insurance companies. And not only do they protect us, they invest in us and they help us seeing what else is going on in the insurance landscape. And then we look at our relationship with leads, right? Because we're lead-based business. And that allows us to continually have new prospects to talk to. And then you go, okay, so how do we go from zero to about 10 years later, $800 million issue paid? Let's drop an 800 in the chat below if anyone's paying attention. 800 million issue paid. How do we do that? Because we as a company made a decision to stay together. But because everybody can make money. And that's the difference that we have on a Pocket Aces environment, is that we make the producer first, right? Sean talks about a three-legged stool. It's great for the company, great for the carrier, great for the agent, right? Our three-legged stool has the agent as the number one thing, right? That's why Sean built this company from an Amazon mentality, right? What's the littlest I can take off the top? The tiniest amount, so that we can pay the agents the absolute most. And then if we do it right and hold on and keep the costs low, fast forward a few years down the road, that little bit can turn into a lot bit, can turn into more. And we've done that. Company's profitable, got incredible staff, great technology, and everything's not perfect. I understand. But we're as close as we can get, and we only want to get it closer each and every day. People are all frustrated. Ed's numbers, he's working on it, right? I got it. So, but we're getting closer. And that's where, when you look at a philosophy like our company, that if we continue to take care of the agents and create a great harbor, like for a lot of you new people, there's no company that pays what we pay from a bonus standpoint, a comp standpoint, Producer bonus standpoint, who won the Cancun trip, the two cruises, going to Puerto Rico now, then you flash over to the carriers. You know what a lot of other companies do is that money that they put towards producer bonuses, like a You First bonus, a Mutual of Omaha bonus, or the AmAm trips, the IMOs take that money to the house. They keep it. They keep it themselves. FFL pays it out. And so we've got all of these things that create us an environment where we can continue to go from 800 to 1.1 billion next year, 1.5 billion, et cetera. And we can start to grow and create this vacuum of elevation, which then creates room for all of you to start building your own passive income stream. So time is your most precious asset because you have pocket aces. So spend no time with mirror foggers. So instead of just having conversation with one person a day, can you have a conversation with 2 or 3 people a day? Are you interested in getting involved in insurance sales? Do you like what you're currently doing? We'll talk about here right now, and as I round towards this call. But what we do here, we do lead-based sales. Start part-time and move to full-time. And I look for people that are into sales. They have to learn sales skills, and do they like to be challenged? And now what's beautiful about our company and our environment is it's all virtual now. Myself, Zach, Andrew, the other leadership, Nina Hayden, we used to have to, walk up the hill, uphill in the snow both ways, right? To go see leads. And now you can sit, Alex is in his house, Sheila's at her house. Juan looks like he's at his beautiful office. There's Gus, Greg, Francis, good to see you. Mike, Adam, Jose, TK, Lori, Jesse, like we can all do it from wherever we want. I'm in my office. I like being in my office, right? I'm not here every day. Why? Well, because I have an office in my house that I can work from too. So, but am I not working? I just get to work from where I want to. And that's a beautiful thing, but I have to be careful, right? As we talked about at the top of the call, there's some days that I go, I don't feel like it, right? But I don't let that creep in, right? Because then all of a sudden Sean's going to call me and I'm like, what's going on? I'm being silly here. But at the same time point, I have a desire to continue to progress, right? Do you have an eager, burning desire to progress? And if you don't, go find it. Set goals, reflect on fun, money, caring details. What kind of person are you? Set big goals. Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to buy a beautiful car? Do you want to take a wonderful experience? Right? I highly encourage you experiences over items because the items, the mystere and the luxury of it wanes. But an experience with someone you love or someone you want to be with or something that you love yourself and you want to go to Europe for 2 months and go sell from the beach in Croatia. I don't know what you want to do, but find bigger goals if you lack an eager, burning desire for progression. That's the difference. Winners have an eager, burning desire for progression, and everybody else just floats. I'm not a floater. You're not floaters. That's not why you're on here right now. You're not floaters. Okay. So in a virtual world where we can sell 800 million, issue $800 million of insurance has never been done before. So you have pocket aces. But because speed is on our side now. So what are we going to, so when I'm talking to someone, I'm going to talk about free training, right? Many companies out there, John, will charge you to come to their Tuesday night training, their Saturday morning training, their required monthly meeting at $100, and then their annual convention will be $1,000 or more. We got free training. We have a base shop builders call on Monday. We have a high level SRS call on Thursdays. Our corporate office puts out all kinds of content, and whatever leadership team you're a part of does top tier training. On top of that, we have a decade of resources, right? The words haven't changed much, right? Human intuition is, I love my family, I want to protect them. I often talk about leads are people who love their family so much. They filled out a form online and sent it in. They called a phone number or they filled out a card and mailed it in, right? They love their family so much, they're waiting for a stranger to call them and learn how to protect them. Right. So in this business model, right, a lot of our training has just been new evolution of the same sort of words and concepts, but we have it all, right? Sean often talked early on in our career about why we have our training on YouTube and we don't gatekeep it all, right? I don't gatekeep any of my trainings. Why? Because I hope 2 things. One, if someone from another company watches my trainings that I do, 2 things will happen. One, they'll either get better and they'll live a better life with their own, in their own company, or they'll go, I like the way they do that. Maybe I go work there and I recruit them, right? And that's the philosophy. So Sean's philosophy was always that. And many of us have, Andrew, Zach, a lot of the top leadership puts out our stuff because we hope two things. Either they're going to get better in life, and I've paid it forward in some capacity. That was a great movie. Then in some capacity, or they go, I like the way he does things. Maybe I'll reach out to him, see if there's any more room on the team. That's a great idea. So we give our stuff away, right? Free training. Most companies charge it. Most companies turn agents into profit centers, right? Raise your hand if you've hired an agent and they've quit, or drop a 4 in the chat below if you've hired an agent and they've quit, right? I agree. Do you know that most companies don't care if the agents quit because they charge them to join, they charge them for class, they charge them monthly dues, they make them buy a policy on themselves before they even get started so that the upline earns a commission. They do a lot of things to maximize profits. And as a businessman, I respect the hustle, but I disrespect the way they do it. And I sleep great at night knowing I'm not grabbing as much cash as possible on the micro level of like, $100 to join, $200 to join, $400 for the coursework, $59 a monthly dues, $1,000 for any training. Like there's companies that just do it like crazy. They will blank and pillage as much money as they can out of the agents that just want to learn what we give away for free. And we get away for free. And why am I okay with that? Because I'd want no one to look back and go, that mother trucker did me wrong, right? I go, this is you. I'm going to give you everything I got for free. You got to decide, are you going to dial the phone and go protect families to make money for your own? It is not on me. It is not on Jackson. It is not on Juan. It is not on Mo. It is not on Mike. It is not on Adam, Jose, Spencer, David. It's not on any of you. It is not your job to make someone successful. It is only your job to work your butt off and be a great example for them and lay a path that they can follow. Your job is to be a trailblazer. Your job is to be someone that they can emulate. Clint, do you wake up and do you emulate what you want your agents to do? Yes or no? He's on a call. Picked the wrong guy for that interaction. Marcus, do you lay a path for people each and every day? Do you do your best? That's right. Thumbs up. I'll take it. Okay. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to be examples for others. So they go, I'm terrified of leaving my job. I'm terrified of buying leads. I'm terrified of down the phone. But if Al can do it, if Curtis can do it, and they're going to help me and just be an example on live dials, then I'll do it too. So free training. Leads, we have access to people that we can sell. So these are the things I'm talking about. Free training, leads, top comp, vested renewals, no fees and bonuses. That's what I'm going to talk about with a recruit, right? So free training, leads. We've got access to 500,000 people right now into our Integrity Lead Center. We can access, the leads are from anywhere from $1 all the way to $30 based on type. I never say quality, I say type because they're different types, right? And so that's a great different way for you to get going. But what we generally see is, and this is asterisks, right? Based on skill set, based on results, based on effort, right? But if you put in the effort, if you dial the phone and make a concerted effort to grow your skills, right? That's what matters here are your skills of having conversations, reading the script, dialoguing it, right? Crystal Bolger always often taught me, he goes, I make an agent listen to 10 different presentations before they can start dialing. Another agent say, they're going to read it 80 times in the mirror before they get going. Why? Because then you know it. It comes out of you. It's like in your pores, right? You're not guessing your way through the first calls, right? You want to go make 10,000 a week, 30,000 a month, a couple 100,000 a year. Treat this like that. Treat this like the job and business that would be deserving of that level of effort. Any job you've ever had, are they going to pay you that level of money if you just fluff your way through it? Heck no, they're not. So free training, leads, top compensation. We pay the top compensation in the industry. There's no higher. And on top of that, you can earn bonuses from the corporate office. You can earn free trips from the corporate office. On top of that, you can earn bonuses from the carriers, cash bonuses, and free trips from the carriers. We've got all kinds of additional things that can pay you for the effort that you're putting into this business. And then renewals, right? I heard an agent early on, she's like, I'm going to get 10,000 clients. Because once I have 10,000 clients, the renewals off that, I can live for years. And I was like, that's a great philosophy. I have a few thousand clients. I never got to 10,000. I started focusing on building. I started working more on my passive income than my active income. But she was like, it was kind of a combination of both, right? But vested renewals, a lot of companies out there, a lot of three acronym companies make you wait 5 years to get half your renewals or 10 years to vest all your renewals. Here, you get your renewals at day one, vested day one. That doesn't happen. And then no fees, right? So from a no fee standpoint, like we talked about, agents, they're like other companies are doing their absolute best to squeeze as much money out of the agent as possible. And from a business, I understand it from a business concept. I just love that we don't do it here. And at some point, part of me goes, want more skin in the game. But if it's my time and I ask an agent, okay, go get okay. The next step is let's get you into class or contracting. The next step is let's get you into class or contracting. And him and ha and him, or I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, we'll just reach back out when you're ready to get going. Or perfect. Well, what's the next step, right? You should be able to tell by now when you're having conversations with people, what is their motive? Are they a doer? Are they a make it a happener? Or are they an excuse maker? And I understand excuse makers, right? I had a bunch of them. Until I said I had a bunch of little kids, and I was like, you can't make any more excuses because food's expensive. So you got to start making it happen. And so that's where I would focus, is to have those conversations. Now, what are you going to say to people? And I reflect on early in my career, I was having these very long, lengthy conversations with recruits. Now, where are you finding recruits, right? You can post ads. You can talk to friends, family, work associates, say, hey, my company's currently hiring. We've got a surplus of warm, interested leads. We need people that'll help service them. Do you know anyone that's interested in making a little additional money? Do you know anybody that's making a little additional money servicing some clients? My company has a surplus of leads, and we're looking for some sales reps to help service them into the holidays. My company has too many requests right now coming in for insurance. Do you know anybody that's looking to make some additional money in 2026? Do you know anybody that's looking to get into a part-time sales job? These are simple conversations you can have. These are simple posts you can make. If you're working the DM game on social, that's a great angle to work as well. All different avenues, but your job is to start conversations with people that you think answer the two questions. Do you believe they'll be here in 5 years, or do you want to talk to them again? Now, if you're on social, everyone's got their best face out there. But at the same standpoint, like some of my best recruits came from people that I knew in the past, right? Are you someone who has a track record of knowing people that are good caliber people? And there's a few different directions you can go. I was fortunate that I suffered so long in different businesses making no money that I knew a bunch of people that had made no money but had ambition. What path or what paths do you have that puts you in a place where you can have conversations and reach out to other people? That's a great way to think about this. So, but if I'm talking to people, and early in my career, I would talk for so long up to the recruit, right? Drop a 5 if you are a long talker when you're trying to recruit somebody. And be honest, because I'm a long talker too. And what I had to learn, and this is a thank you to Andrew, thank you to Sean, that my initial recruiting calls, it kind of went like this. I started making good money, issuing 30, 40 a month. And I'm having these conversations with people. I'm recruiting people. I'm talking to people all the time. And I get to the point, I'm like, this is nonsense. Everybody that I'm trying to recruit doesn't get started. Everybody that I'm trying to get started doesn't move forward. And I'm just exhausted from this recruiting thing. Andrew, why do I want to recruit if I can make so much money just selling? And he goes, let me get Sean on the phone. 3 ways in, Sean. We have this conversation. I say the same thing. And he goes, how long are your conversations? And I go, 35, 30, 35, 40 minutes. He's like, why? And I go, well, I'm getting to know them. I'm building rapport. I'm asking about where they went to high school, what their wife does, what their kids do, what their goals are, where they want to take their spouse on a trip. He's like, Grady, you don't need to have these long conversations with people. You're not gonna be the deciding factor whether or not they're gonna do something here. Your job is to answer some initial questions, explain the opportunity, and challenge them to move forward. A non-licensed conversation should be 5 to 7 minutes, and a licensed conversation should be 7 to 12 minutes. And I was like, what? He's like, that's it. Have more, faster conversations. And then he goes to Andrew. He goes, Andrew, over your career, how many people have you recruited? And I'm listening, and Andrew goes, and this is a few years ago. Andrew goes, thousands. And so at this point in my career, I go, I'm not trying to sell people to work with me. I'm trying to be a good example, show them our benefits we have here, free training, leads, top comp renewals, no fees bonus, and decide or not whether they want to move forward. Help, is this something that sounds like something you want to be a part of? I'm not trying to sell them on it. If I'm a good example, it means hey man, I made 900 bucks this morning. I made 7 grand this week. I made 23,000 last month. If I'm a good example, people are going to want to work with me, right? If you're a good example, Jamie, people are going to want to work with you. Chris, people are going to want to work with you. Letitia, people are going to want to work with you, right? Be a great example and people will want to work with you. Callie, people want to work with you. Be a great example. You make it like there's millions of people out there that are looking for what we have to offer. The problem is we're not setting actual goals to recruit. We're not actually introducing this to people every single day. We're not having recruiting conversations. I got it. You need to sell to pay your bills. You bought a lot of leads. You got to make them convert. You got a pile of chargebacks. I got it. But guess what? You know what's really cool about building a team is that you never feel chargebacks anymore, ever. Doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of your business and try to keep as much of the money as possible. But when you have an agency doing a little bit of money, that overrides, wash out your chargebacks. And all of a sudden now you're keeping more of the money. That's a great goal, right? My first goal was to get one override so I could get rid of my Android phone and I could buy an iPhone for my second dialing phone, right? That was a fun goal I had, right? Or do you need to establish goals you have for yourself on top of the goals you have from selling? So from a standpoint is having these conversations of, do you know someone looking for this? Do you know someone looking for that? And then making them tight. And so for non-licensed, these are the questions I'm asking. What are you currently doing now? Right? What are you doing right now? I'm in solar. I'm a server. I'm currently selling insurance at or I'm not selling insurance, I'm non-licensed. I'm currently selling cars, right? What makes you want to get into life insurance sales? Why do you want to get into it? Well, leads look interesting. Compensation looks interesting. Have you ever been a business owner? I'm asking them a harder question. Have you ever been a business owner? I want to know if they've ever done anything. No, I've never been a business owner. Are you aware of the costs associated with running your own business? Why do I want to know that? Because I want them to know that it's going to be costs from E&O, which if you go to through Integrity Connect, it's the cheapest E&O in the industry now. If they want to get a dialer, they're going to get staff, right? These are additional costs. And then what do you want to make? When I'm talking to a non-licensed person, I want to know what they want to make. What kind of goals do they have? Are they trying to set big goals and make a lot of money? Are they just making 45 grand and they want to make 60? Well, why do you want to not make more? Right? Are they making 60 and they want to make 250? Great goals. Okay, now we're trying to do something here. All right, if you're going to give your time, you could be with your family or selling, your responsibility to yourself and your business is to ask I did not start with the Android. I saw that, Jackson. I had it as my free dialing phone because it was $10 to add the line. But yes, good memory. But I'm asking them these questions because I want to know what kind of person they are. And if I'm going to give my time away from my wife and my kids to help this person, I want to know they have big goals. People that don't sell a lot are dangerous. Why? Because they don't have anything, they don't have much to lose. And they'll roll you some debt, they'll sell a few policies, and then they'll ghost you. I want people with big goals and big dreams. Don't you? Don't you want to talk to people that got big goals and big dreams all day long? That's a fun place to be. So in that philosophy is what do you want to make, right? So these are the non-licensed questions. Now, when they're licensed, this is a great line. Talking to someone that's licensed, and maybe they're another company, they're checking you out, you're having a conversation, you go, are you recruitable? Are you recruitable? Are you looking to get something? Are you looking to get out of your current company? Are you recruitable? It's a great line. Why? Because it sets it right on the table. I'm selling insurance. I'm doing good. We're having a conversation. So something you're not happy about, and we haven't gotten to that point yet, but are you recruitable? Well, I don't know. What do you got? Okay, cool. What do you like about what you're currently doing? I like insurance, right? What do you not like about what you're currently doing? I don't like that I'm limited with leads. I don't like my low comp. I don't like the fact I only have one carrier, right? What are your goals? Man, I would love to build an agency one day, right? Have you ever worked leads before? Well, my company gives me leads. Okay, you understand that that's great, but you're paying for the leads regardless. Like you're 40% comp, you're paying for the leads. So why not come over here and start at 90 and you can buy your own leads and be in charge of your own business, right? So you're having this conversation with people about from licensed or non-licensed in regards to what they're going through. So we have and this is a long training call, right? My calls are tight, right? They're quick. I told you they're short, 7 to 12 minutes, but I'm trying to expand all this to give you the concepts that as you go through this, what you're trying to accomplish is you're having these conversations with people. So you want to ask those questions because great line in business and life, the one who asks the questions controls the conversation. They start asking you, right, you get on the phone with a lead, they go, I just want a quote. I just want a quote. No, I understand you want a quote, John. I'd love to give you a quote, but my office requires me to ask a few sort of health questions and a few monetary questions and then determine what you're eligible for, right? Take back control, right? Same thing with recruiting, right? You're showing, and a big part of recruiting is if you're taking all this time to recruit, you're then teaching the recruit that it takes this long to present this business opportunity. I don't want to be on the phone for 45 minutes with someone that's not getting started. I want to be on the phone with someone for 2 minutes. It's not getting started, but I'll have have infinite patience for a worthwhile prospect and have an infinite time for someone that's interested in this business. And so that's kind of where I would lay here, right? There's a lot of nuance into this, but you want to cover the main point. First, you want to find out who they are, right? Fun, money, caring details. You want to talk about the main points that we offer here, from free training, access to leads, top compensation, renewals, no fees, and bonus. And then you want to find out a little bit more about them. What do they like what they're currently doing? What do they not like what they're currently doing? Are they recruitable? Do they want to get started today, or they need to think about it? Do they have somebody on their team they want to bring over? They happy where they're at and they just want additional income? You need to get them the coursework. So, but this is the key point, right? So if you take anything away from this call, when you're recruiting, the person you're talking to is making a decision of, do I like you? Do I want to continue to talk to you? And do I want to do what you're doing? So having a mature, confident way you're communicating is super important. But the same standpoint is you have to know that that person is like on a leap of faith looking at something new. They're either unhappy, they're not happy, they're not doing well financially, they're stressed, they're disenchanted, they're frustrated, right? They've got a lot of things going on in their life, which is why they're looking at a new career. Maybe you cold prospect and warm prospect and whatever, but they're going to then make a decision to join you. But in a good recruiting, we use what's called a recruiting triangle, right? It's you, your prospect, and some other tool or element, right? I often use a recruiting video. Steve and Trey have made good videos over the years. We're working on a new one. I'll use a call. I'll use a YouTube training video, right? And understanding all that is that people are judging you based on you, right? You right now might go, this guy's loud and he's old, or I don't know why you're judging me. Or you might go, this is good stuff. I don't know what you're saying. You're still here, so I hope you're saying you're learning something. We'll take that. We'll go that positive route. But your recruit is thinking, do I want to do this? So one of the best ways I've found, and this is if you take anything from this call and you want to build a business, do this for me. That'll be 1A. I'll go with zero right now. I'd suggest starting an email list. I'm huge into email lists. I use a service called Aweber. There's a bunch of different ones out there. Don't use MailChimp because they kicked me off because I was an insurance broker. So I always do every call. I try to, shit on MailChimp, PG-13 call, sorry. But they kicked me off. And I was like, why are you kicking me off? They're like, well, we don't do insurance. And I was like, well, you're screwing up because I'm going to have a huge list. And I paid Aweber $50,000 over the past, few years. I digress. Get an email list and add your prospects to it and send positive stuff. Add your prospects to it and send positive stuff, right? No just means not right now. I reached out to Andrew in 2015. We had our first conversation. I didn't get started till 2018. Seemed to work out for both of us, right? Infinite patience for a worthwhile prospect. And you can do that very well with email. Like social's great and all, but you can mute someone, etc. But the same standpoint, if you're sending out a leaderboard, here's a training call, this is this great new update, like just send positive stuff to your work prospects and they'll look forward. A lot of people are watching forever. I had a guy right now, one of my top producers, he was the first guy I prospected in 2018. Now he's writing 100 a month. Thank God he stayed on my email list for both of us, right? He's a great asset to the company, changed his life forever. So start email list. But here's the closing points, and I'll give you your homework, and we'll get you out of here in the next couple of minutes. Thank you for staying on. Get them plugged into team activities. Get your if they go, yes, I want to get started, right? I'm interested. I want to move forward. This sounds great. And this is a lot of hoopla for we literally present the best deal that's out there. People that want to make additional money and are into sales love what we do. Is the only reason is not the only, but it's one of the major reasons why we're growing at the trajectory we are. Why? Because it's a great opportunity. We've got leads. You can work from home. The commissions are fantastic. Right? If you're doing sales, you should be selling insurance. And there's 100 million people out there that need our help, whether they're getting married, having a baby, moving, retiring. There's all kinds of life events that happen constantly. Change jobs, had coverage, don't have coverage, they want more coverage, etc. There's so many life events that happen that we can then bring in new opportunities to sell life insurance. So we're growing like crazy. So it's not a lot. This isn't a lot of showmanship. I'm not a magician up here juggling 7 balls on fire. Like this is, I'm trying to expand this training to like give you some concepts and challenge you to go do this because it can change your life if you actually go do it, not just internally, but you can change others. And when you help other people get what they want, you get everything that you want. And so, but get them plugged into team activities. And I say this like deliberately because what happens is you go recruit a prospect and they're like, yeah, I'm interested. You send them the coursework, they get started, life gets busy, whatever. Two things happen. One, life gets busy and they go, oh, this coursework's boring. And oh my God, I got to learn about tort law and all kinds of stuff that like, am I ever going to use this? No, but that's okay. You need to get the license and then, then you're in the club. But as that doubt starts to set and they talk to other people and then they go, mention it to their buddy who's, still lives on his mom's couch and drinks a 6-pack every night, right? I should ask my 6-pack drinking couch living buddy about life insurance sales. He's a good barometer for success and accomplishment. No, he's not, but he's your buddy. So you have to listen to opinion your buddies because you spend time with them. And that's why you got to be careful. Choose your circle closely. So, but you get them plugged into team activities, meaning you get them on calls, you get them plugged into um, your calls, period. Get them at the office if you can. Get them to come to a lock-in. Get them to an event. Why? So they can see the bigger picture. They can see the bigger picture. They can see this is real. But at the same standpoint, if they're not going to plug into team activities early on, what's the chances that they're going to be here long term or they're going to be here at all? Right? I got a guy that I've been helping getting some recruits, and he's got it. Like I do a roundtable base shop call, and he doesn't get any of his recruits on. I'm like, why are none of the agents that we put into contracting on the call on Monday? Well, they're busy. Well, fuck, I'm busy too, man. But like, what do we mean? Like, what do you mean? They're too busy being broke. They can't show up to the call where we talk about insurance sales, and I get people on there that write $10,000 a week on what they say, the word checks, the scripts, the lead vendors. They're that busy. Like, what are we doing here? Like, no, that is the manager, the recruiter being weak early on, and that's okay. You can be weak for a little bit. You're weak long term, you lose your life. You got to toughen up. And this is a huge philosophy for many of you that want to go recruit. You're too soft on people. And not that I'm mean or I'm yelling or anything. I'm passionate right now. But like, if the guy who writes 30,000 a month wants to build a team, he's got to treat the recruits the way he treats his leads. He's following up with the leads. He's texting them. He's checking with the clients. He's sending thank you cards. He's passionate about protecting that client. He should also be passionate about how he protects his time with recruits. Because you gave that guy 30 minutes. And then you spend an hour with him walking him through HCMS. And then you spend a half hour with him giving him a back office tour. But he can't show up for the Monday call. Too busy being broke, right? That's important. You're all here right now. You all had something to do this morning, but you chose to show up. So I applaud you. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful for you. And that's the difference of winners and losers. Losers make excuses and winners make it happen. That's life. They're never the same people, ever. So get your recruits as fast as you can plugged in team activities. And if they won't show up, you challenge them. And if they don't, then you just move on. Leave them on your email list. You ain't got time for that. Don't send them to your contracting manager. She's too busy. She don't want to deal with all the attestations and all the stuff they got to deal with in contracting to make this thing happen. So make attendance to calls mandatory. Calls, conventions, and that they do what they said they're going to do. They are not successful so far, so stop treating them like they've earned space. Challenge them, make them get on stuff. You have to. Otherwise, delete them from your phone and move on because their time suck. And that's okay. Let them go suck someone else's time. You're too busy writing 20, 30, 40,000 a month and changing your life. And there's more people out there that are looking to spend time with you. Willie, Giovanni, Emerald, Casey, EDG, I don't know what that means. Crystal, Connor, Corrine, Andre, it's good to see you. Caesar, what's up, bro? Okay, got hyped, and we'll close with this. Homework. And if I'm anything, it's flawed. If I'm anything, I'm a mess. But if I'm one thing, it's I'm a continual student because I know that I don't know everything. And I know if I learn something, I often forget it. And I mean that in a sense that if you're not protecting yourself and your brain and your mind to the evolutionary process of growth, right? And that's a lot of words, right? But you have to understand that, like, we're in a sales, human, communicative business, and our job is to continue to talk and involve and have passionate conversations with our clients when they get nervous, and agents when they get down and they get a chargeback or two. And your goal is to progress. And so, how can we do that? We learn from different ways. And here, these are some of my favorite resources that for many of you, some of you have probably gone through these, and many of you probably have never heard of these things, and that's okay. But I'm going to give you four things, and if you do them all, your business will be night and day. Light switch in the dark in 3 to 6 months. I'll snap again because it worked. Night in the dark in 3 to 6 months if you'll commit to growing you. And these things will affect and impact and evolve all other areas of your life, but they'll heavily evolve your business. First, how to win friends and influence people. If you read it 10 years ago, read it again. You are in a new philosophy today. I mean, just pages of highlighter and word tracks and ways to talk to other people. It'll help you in your business. It'll help you in your relationships. It'll definitely help you in recruiting, and it'll help you in your sales. How to win friends and influence people. Number two, Go Pro by Eric Worre. It's a book on recruiting, and it's from the MLM world. What's wild is when I showed up to insurance, we just sold insurance and talked to a few people, right? And now it's like, how do we roll this wheel as fast as possible? Because we know what we have. It's proven. I see Digna on here. Willie, the Latino market is in fire, right? Arriba to my Latinos, right? But the same standpoint, the wheel is spinning. So How to Win Friends and Influence People, phenomenal book. Second book, Go Pro by Eric Worre. Go buy it on Amazon. It's a book it says network marketing, but it doesn't matter. It says how to become a network marketing professional, but just look at it as how to become a recruiting professional. Great concepts on how to have conversations with people, word tracks, specificity, what to say, how to challenge them, how to move them forward. Go get that book. Third is an audio by Jim Rohn, Jimrohn. Building My Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. It's about 55 minutes. I've listened to that audio no less than 100 times in my life. And it's just concepts and philosophies on how to have word tracks and your mindset about recruiting. And the thing is the network marketing MLM world you can't buy leads for it. So you have to recruit. You're talking to the Chili's server, the Applebee's server, your Amazon driver, your the proactive girl at the mall. You're talking to everybody because those are your prospects because you can't buy leads for it. We are unfortunately blessed with the ability to purchase leads of interested people. We're blessed with that. That's how we sell insurance, is buying leads. But in every other industry, you got to go recruit, right? Even in real estate and mortgages, mortgages, maybe you get them fed from a realtor, but real estate, how do you go find more people that want to buy or sell real estate? So Go Pro, the Jim Rohn audio, how to build your network marketing business. And then last, there's a YouTube channel on YouTube called Charisma on Command. And they teach you how to talk better. And that's what this is, guys. We're just trying to get better. And so those four things would be my homework for you. You invest time. Now, is this go stop selling today and go buy the book on your Kindle and cancel your appointments? No, but this is what you carve into the nooks and crannies of your day. You've got your process. You get leads. You go protect families. You take care of your home. Keep your house in order. But then on top of that, you carve in a half hour, hour a day of learning, recruiting, and conversational tactics, of conversational things that will help you evolve. And without that, then we're just stuck, right? Don't get stuck. Don't stay where you are. Choose to progress, choose to get better. And this business will feed you and your family and the agents around you better than you could ever possibly believe. I'm so grateful that Andrew answered that Facebook ad back in the day. I'm grateful for my incredible staff. I'm grateful for Sean. I'm grateful for Zach, and I'm grateful for my team without them, I'd just be a guy. I'd just be a guy. So to all of you out there that have big goals, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop going after it. Don't stop believing, because we're helping people protect their families while protecting our own, and then teaching others how to do the same. It's noble business. I'm beyond grateful for all of you, and thank you for the time. We'll see you. This is an incredible series set up by Zach. So great gratitude to him and his whole team. Don't miss next week. It's going to be fantastic as well. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon. See you at convention. Bye for now.